So when I started this channel, in fact, the main reason why I started this channel was basically to talk about cars, like talk about trading cars, cars that were reliable, top tips if you're looking forward to buying a new car and all that, servicing your car maintenance and everything. Because I'm constantly fascinated about, like, I'm kind of excited when I see new cars, when I see new technologies in cars, when I see beautiful, strong, and reliable cars, and all. I'm always excited about it. But there's something I've come to understand about cars. I just feel like, not like I feel like, even though I'm not a car expert, but if you speak to people about their experiences about different types of cars, I might tell you that this Toyota model isn't reliable, isn't strong, isn't good, and all that. And you'd have someone else say, no, I've used this car for nearly 3, 4, 5 years, and this car is actually very, very reliable. I'm going to give you an example. When we talk about cars like a couple Ford Fiesta and all that, when if I that's one of the advices you get if you just move to the UK newly, most people will tell you avoid Ford cars, like any model at all of Ford, like avoid it. It's not reliable. It's not strong. You'd always maintenance is always high and all. So you get excuses like that. And the first thing you'd want to do, because it's very important for migrants. That's like if you've just moved to a new country, newly, if you've just moved to say UK or Canada or US, the first thing, and you want to buy a car, it's normal for you to do your research on cars. And so when you do such research, when you do that kind of research, and then the first thing they tell you is, do not buy a Ford car, it's not reliable and all that. It's normal to avoid such cars. But you still see these cars on the road. You still see people drive these cars. You still see UK citizens drive this car. And then you wonder, why would someone tell you not to buy a Ford car when others are driving it? It's just like the common consensus with Range Rover. Like anybody you speak to, in fact, that's the first. That's like a normal conversation for everybody. Whenever you ask people what car brand or model should you not buy, they will always mention Range Rover. Like, and in fact, I've even done a video on it, why you should not buy a Range Rover as your first car. Mine, in fact, I tried to channel the topic on saying do not buy a Range Rover as your first car. But people will tell you do not buy a Range Rover at all. Like don't even buy it. It's not a good car brand and all that. So it's quite, that's actually one car brand that I've had a consensus on. Like I said, I've done a video on that car. But you see other cars, they tell you do not buy this car, it's not good. But you still see people drive that car. And to me, like I said, when I started this video, like I said, I mentioned I wasn't a car expert. I feel that's same thing with a lot of people. I know most people will tell you they're car expert, but car brands, and then you buying a new car, or then people having that car for as much as 3 years. I feel people should talk about cars based on experience, because to me that's the most important thing. Because like I said, you see people complain about this car, and then someone has had that car for 3 years and it's been working for them. So it's very, very important. And like I said, to me, I feel like the most important thing about this whole car conversation is car maintenance. So if you have a car, like I just bought a Toyota CHR. I'm just giving us an example. I've had a CHR for a couple of years now, and before we bought that car, it's common knowledge that most people will tell you. In fact, we watch videos, because that's one of the researches that you do. I always say it. I always encourage it. So before you buy a car, try and read about the car. Try to understand the engine size, if that's the kind of engine size you want. If the speed, the size, especially if you have a family and all that. So these are researches that you need to do before you go ahead and buy a car. So when we wanted to buy that car, in fact, the first thing we had was that it wasn't reliable, it wasn't strong. Toyota made a mistake on that car. It's quite small, it's quite this, it's quite that. And from my own experience, personal experiences, I've had that car for a couple of years now. I think it's one of the most reliable cars I've had in a couple of years. When we came in newly to the UK a couple of years ago, my first car was a Vauxhall Antara. I actually bought that car because of the size. It's quite large, and I actually bought that car basically because of family, and it was actually helpful when we're moving to a different house. Like the space on that car was actually, it's a 2.0 engine car, so the car space was massive. Like could move my cupboard, move a couple of things with that car without getting like a van to do that for me. So that's one of the reasons why we actually bought that car. So it was actually very, very helpful. But it had its own disadvantage. One of the disadvantages of that car was basically because one, it's a diesel engine. I'm not saying diesel engines are bad, but diesel engines require you to always do long journeys. I think I'm going to do a video on it. That's one of the reasons why the people would always advise you not to buy a diesel car and all that. It's not because it's not really, it's, if you do long journeys on diesel cars, you understand how cheap or how fuel economical they are. When I like the journeys I've done with my Vauxhall Antara, which was a diesel engine, 2.0 engine and all that, very large. So you'd expect it to consume more, the diesel economy to be very very high. But no, I've done road trips on that car, and it's very very reliable. Like you do long distance journeys and then you get back, the fuel economy is still very very low. Like it doesn't consume more fuel if you do long journeys. But the disadvantage there is, if you just bought a diesel car, what you do mostly every day is drive to work, do school runs and all that, you're going to have problems with that engine. That engine will always develop an issue, and it's common knowledge. If you do your research, they will tell you that's one of the disadvantages of getting a diesel engine. You must always do, at least once in a week, you must do a long distance journey to either burn the carbon, or there's a way they explained it, which from my experience, that's what we had. So, and when you do this small journey, this small trips, like from here to work, from here to do school runs and all that, you would know that the experience for you would always be that diesel engines are not fuel economical, and that's just the truth. In fact, at least weekly, I was doing a top up of at least 20 to 30 pound diesel every week. But with my CHR, which is actually a hybrid, I just buy fuel once in a month, and I would do long journey. When I say long journey, I mean, yeah, long journeys. We drive, we do about 100 kilometers sometimes once in a week and all that. You still have the fuel still there. And as though that one is around, I think, a 1.8 liter engine. So yes, I know it's small, but it's fuel strong hybrid. So it's quite different for me. It's a different experience for me. So this is one of the reasons why I say, when you want to talk about, I'm just making this video just to clarify a couple of things, because like I said, I at some point I stopped doing car videos because the experience for me was quite different. I'll talk about this car, and then you get people saying, no, this car you're talking about is actually very reliable for me. I actually love this car. I've had this car for 4 years. So when people come out and talk about cars, it's as a car expert, it's a different experience. You see people complain about cars that you've seen people drive such cars for 4 or 5 years and then they're very reliable. So that's actually, it's a different experience for me when I talk about cars. I try to narrow it down to my own personal experience about cars. I had that car, that Vauxhall Antara, for years until it's developed issues, and then we had to sell that car. So car experiences for me, or car, when you want to talk about cars, I feel like you should talk about cars based on your own personal experience of such cars. And for me, I would always say it's car maintenance. Car maintenance is superior to every other stuff. You might have a car and then you're not maintaining the car regularly. I would also give an example. So like we have the Toyota CHR. It's recommended that whenever we want to, whenever we're looking forward to servicing that car, we take it to a Toyota garage, like recommended, like kind of where we bought the car, because we bought the car from Toyota directly, Toyota in the UK here in Hull. It's recommended you take it there for servicing. There you have a warranty, even though it's going to cost you more. I think what we pay to service that car is around £400 every year, every 10,000 miles and all that. So it's recommended you take it there, even though it's going to cost you more, but you know you have a warranty. Like after they've done the servicing, it's going to be reliable for you. They notice a couple of things, the issues with the brake pad, they help you. So other than taking it to a roadside mechanic where they just want to service the car with cheap engine oils, and then that's all, and then you move without knowing what else is wrong with the car. So I feel car maintenance plays an important role in when you say, I've had this car for 4 or 5 years, it's actually very reliable. Car maintenance is, and I've actually talked about in a couple of my videos, why you should constantly maintain your car. It's very, very important for me. You change your oils, you check your radiator, you do a top up, you make sure the engine is running very well. It's just car maintenance for me. And like I said, it's very, very important, because that's why you'd have a great experience with your car. And that's just it for me. I will see you on the next video.